I bought a bag of garlic, but when I opened it, I saw that some cloves had started to sprout, and others had dried up and shriveled. Just looking at it, I knew that if I didn't deal with it soon, the garlic would spoil faster, wasting food and losing its flavor. I'm sure you've experienced this situation before, right? You buy a bag of garlic thinking it will last a long time, but after a short while it sprouts or dries out. Actually, garlic is very easily affected by humidity and storage methods, so just a few changes can make it last much longer. So today, I'll share with you how I store garlic more effectively, keeping it dry, preventing sprouting, and preserving its natural flavor for longer. The first tip I want to share is preserving garlic with dried tea leaves. It sounds simple, but it's very effective. First, I prepare a basket of fresh garlic. When choosing garlic, I select bulbs that are firm, have dry skin, and are not bruised. If I see any bulbs that are too soft or have long sprouts, I separate them, because just one damaged bulb can affect the rest. Next, I take a clean, completely dry glass jar. I emphasize that it must be completely dry, because garlic is very sensitive to moisture. Even a little moisture inside can easily cause sprouting or mold. Then I prepare a small bowl of dried tea leaves. Tea leaves have a slight moisture-absorbing ability, so I use them as a cushion to keep the inside of the jar dry and airy. Now, I open the jar and pour all the tea leaves into the bottom first. Then, I gently arrange the garlic bulbs inside. No need to pack it tightly. Just leave it a little roomy so there's air circulation inside. After packing, seal the jar tightly and store it in a cool, dry place, away from direct sunlight and away from the cooking area. That's all, but I've noticed that the garlic sprouts much less and lasts longer. This method is especially useful if you often buy garlic in large quantities for later use. Especially during the season when garlic is cheap, buying it all at once and not storing it properly can easily lead to sprouting or spoilage. By applying this trick, you can keep garlic dry for longer and reduce waste. If your family cooks frequently and uses garlic every day, you can just open the jar and take out a few cloves. Very convenient. And because the garlic is kept in a dry, airy environment, its flavor is more stable than if it were stored in a plastic bag or in humid air. Tip number 2. Preserving garlic with olive oil. This method requires a slightly more thorough preparation of the garlic before preservation to ensure cleanliness and safety. First, separate each clove from the bulb, then peel off the outer layer. Be gentle so the cloves don't get crushed. Once you've peeled a whole basketful, wash them thoroughly before soaking them in oil. Prepare a bowl of water, add the garlic, and then add about a teaspoon of baking soda. Then stir gently to dissolve the baking soda completely in the water. Baking soda helps clean away dirt and impurities clinging to the surface of the garlic. Soak the garlic for about 5 to 7 minutes, no longer. While soaking, you can gently stir a few times to ensure the garlic is cleaned evenly. After the time is up, remove the garlic and transfer it to another bowl of clean water to rinse it again. This step helps remove any remaining baking soda. After rinsing, spread the garlic out on a paper towel and dry it thoroughly. Remember to wipe the garlic thoroughly and make sure it's completely dry, because when stored with olive oil, any remaining moisture can easily cause spoilage and reduce its shelf life. Next, I'll cut each clove of garlic in half lengthwise. When you cut them, you'll see a small light green core in the middle, especially in cloves that are slightly older or starting to sprout. I gently remove this core with the tip of a knife. Why do I do this step? Firstly, the core usually has a slightly pungent and bitter taste. If left in, the flavor might not be as mild and aromatic when pickled in oil. Secondly, removing the core also helps limit the possibility of the garlic continuing to sprout during storage. After cutting and removing the core, I'll cut the garlic into smaller pieces. You can mince, slice thinly, or dice depending on your family's cooking habits. I usually cut it to a moderate size, not too finely, so that it's convenient to use for stir-frying, marinating, or sautéing. Remember to use a clean knife and a dry cutting board while cutting. Since the garlic is completely peeled at this stage, any contact with water or moisture will affect its shelf life later. After slicing, I put all the garlic into a clean, dry glass jar. The jar should be rinsed with hot water and completely dry beforehand to ensure hygiene. Next, I pour olive oil until the garlic is completely submerged. This is a very important step. The garlic must be completely covered by oil, not exposed to air. This layer of oil will help limit contact with oxygen and slow down the spoilage process. I seal the lid tightly and store it in the refrigerator. When needed, just open the lid and take out a small amount of pre-processed garlic, which is very convenient for cooking. A small note: because this is fresh garlic and oil, you should use it within a reasonable time and always keep it refrigerated to ensure food safety. If you notice any strange smell or unusual signs, do not continue to use it. This method saves preparation time each time you cook and helps the garlic retain its characteristic aroma. Tip number 3. Preserving minced garlic. I'll use the garlic I prepared in tip number 2 for another preservation method, mincing it in advance for later use. I put the garlic in a food processor and minced it until very fine. You can mince it completely or slightly coarsely, depending on your cooking habits. If you find the garlic difficult to blend, you can add a little olive oil to make the machine run more smoothly and prevent the mixture from drying out. After mincing, I put all the minced garlic into a small, clean, and dry jar. Remember to use a clean spoon to put it in, avoiding any contact with water. If you want to preserve it for a little longer, you can coat the garlic with a thin layer of oil before closing the lid. Next, I sealed it tightly and put it in the refrigerator to preserve it. This method is very convenient when cooking stir-fries. Every time I need to sauté garlic, I just open the lid, take a small spoonful. No need to peel, no need to chop again. No messy kitchen. Especially on busy days, having minced garlic readily available saves a lot of time. It's a small tip, but extremely practical in the everyday kitchen. So, I've shared with you 3 simple yet easy ways to preserve garlic in your daily kitchen. Just a few changes to your storage methods can help garlic last longer, stay more fragrant, and be more convenient for cooking. Hopefully, these little tips will help you save time and reduce food waste. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more great tips. Thank you for watching and see you in the next videos.